Welcome to the Ignite You podcast.
We're two bros journey into all things spirituality and human transformation.
Let's get it. Bang, bang.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Ignite You. This is Ryan Miller.
And Cam McDougall.
And today, we're going into all things morning routine.
And so just to say, we delayed the recording of this podcast because Ryan...
Oh, he's calling me out.
...spent 3 hours doing his morning routine. Then he spent another 2 hours doing his afternoon ritual before now needing to leave in 20 minutes to get his evening practice in that takes him another 4 hours. So
we have
grand
20
total
minutes.
of 8 hours of routine time.
Routines are important. It should take up 95% of your life is what I'm hearing.
Your morning routine is actually just to set you up for your evening ritual.
Exactly. That's actually how it used to be. Maybe not to that extreme, but
He did it today.
That's how it is. It was like that a few years ago, similar, where I actually had about 3 hours in my day to actually work. Besides that, there was routines filled in. Seriously. At one point, that was a reality.
You're so spiritual, bro.
I was so tapped in and dialed in and burnt out by my routines. They weren't actually serving me anymore.
When your routines burn you out, you know something's wrong.
Those aren't the best routines to follow. So what we're doing is giving you routines from our experience. We know a lot of routines that don't serve us and don't serve you. So these are routines to ignite your soul, to ignite your day, to tap in. We have a little series that's going to be going on. So we got the morning, we're going to have an afternoon, we're going to have an evening. This
so
is
that you
off.
as well can be as productive as Ryan.
Dink. Exactly. Yes. And these are going to be really simple routines for you to dive into. This is a method we've been playing with for a long time.
Some serious components to this.
Yeah, it's a few. It's going to be an 8-hour practice. So pretty
So this is going to be a
simple.
9-hour podcast.
This podcast will be 9 hours.
I don't know why. 8 hours, 9 hours. None of it makes sense. What is time?
Yeah. So this is going to be about 30 minutes or less of a morning practice.
Yes.
On average. So in the reality, we're giving you a simple method to drop into, to dive into, method that we've tested, we've trialed ourselves, we've brought many clients through, and we've seen actually works the best to create space in these 3 areas that we talk about.
Boom. The embodied method
Exactly.
is breathe,
Flex.
and feel.
Aww. That's
So nice.
so sweet.
I had to balance
I
out.
know.
You're like,
I thought you were going to go like that.
No, I was like, feel.
Really soft.
It's really soft.
Pretty. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's pretty and beautiful. And that's what it's about. Pretty and beautiful. Bringing balance into your practice. Bringing what serves you into your routines. And why we talk about it in this way, breathe, flex, feel, is because both Cam and I have been down the path of having extremified practices where we have to check all these boxes. But these are ways to create little containers of experience to cultivate the state you want to create.
Boom. You celebrated yourself so hard there. You're like, cue explosion now. That was sick.
Can you add fire into that?
Yeah.
Edit?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I love that. And we did create this method so that we have the containers that you can then fill. And one of the really cool things that I want to bring up before we get into them is this is more of a feminine approach. It's more of an intuitive approach. And one thing that I think both of us really went through was this very masculine, regimented approach, to morning routines. Mm-hmm. And to me, that didn't serve me in the end. To me, that just became this super intense kind of must get this done type of energy. And so this routine that we're going to give you this morning.
Sure.
It's the morning. You're probably watching it in the morning. is actually designed to be more intuitive, to be more flowy, to be
Yeah.
more of a feminine approach to the general masculine
Yes.
routines that we see.
Exactly. I will say what both you and I have done is train discipline in that arena. And this could also be an invitation that will come through from the challenge we're going to present you at the end with this routine, because it's going to be very applicable for you, is the potential to also cultivate and create discipline with the practice. Not to say being feminine contradicts disciplinary practices, but this invites you into that space as well, because you might be new to routines and need some of that edge.
For sure.
Also.
And I think that's super important, because you and I became very consistent with our routines through a very masculine energy, which then we were able to transition into a more adaptable, intuitive approach. So flexing the discipline muscle is very important. We just want to help you do so without going completely bonkers and completely Navy SEAL on your morning ritual or routine, and give you some boxes that you can play with that are a little bit more open to intuition.
Boom.
So, the breath. We always start with the breath because the breath taps us into the body's intelligence. It's as simple as that. There's nothing out there that taps you into your body's sensory state like the breath. What we're going to say as a breathing tool: conscious connected mouth breathing, in and out through the mouth 11 times. No pause at the top, no pause at the bottom, just breathing circularly. Okay?
Like a wheel on a bike.
Like the wheel of a bike going around and around. 11 breaths. On the exhale, you're going to hold. You hold until it feels like time to breathe again, and then you start doing the breath again. 11 more breaths, hold. 11 more breaths, hold. You're going to do this 3 times. It can be intense, it can be soft, it can be whatever you feel in that moment. You don't have to do it a specific way, just as long as you're bringing sensations up in the body that will give you information on your state. So 3 rounds, 11 breaths, 1 hold, roll it out. Get that done. Get into the body, get into your senses.
Beautiful. Perfect. That's with the breath. As we know, there's many different ways to breathe, but what we're giving you here is one path through breathe, flex, feel for you to trial and to use. Of course, you use whatever practice that feels good in this space, but that's beautiful.
We want to keep it simple for you, especially if you're starting and especially if you haven't tried this before. But breath can be anything. There's so many different options out there. You can research, but right now we're saying start with this tool. Super simple, super clear.
Yes. Get the breath, get activated, get connected into the body. And that's one of the big pieces why we start with the breath is we want to start tuning into the body. We want to start activating. Yes, we just came out of sleep. So breathing gets the body activated, gets us connected in, and also brings a lot of awareness to where we're at in our body, which is what we like to start with. Because leading into the flex, we want to know where we're at. We want to know where the body is. We want to know what we're feeling in that moment and what to then bring to the second part,
which is the flex.
The flex.
And Ryan's a professional at the flex,
flexing.
as you've seen already in this video if you've been watching. But he has a ton of tools in his arsenal. But before this podcast, we were talking about them. So what would be 3 options for a flex based on what you might find in the breath?
Yeah, simple options. Again, we're keeping this very simple. Not going to anything dynamic or challenging to move into as far as technique. Simplicity. You can, for instance, if you're feeling like your body's in a place where it can be anxious or it feels tight, you can go into a place where you're stretching. You're doing a soft practice. That can also be if you're tired or exhausted. Many things. The first path would be one of softness, and that would involve stretching. It would involve a yin yoga practice, something really simple, soft, and easy, but involving movement. Everything in flex will involve movement, but that's a softer version if you feel your body needs to tune into that kind of calmer frequency. Another one you can do, if you're feeling like your body wants to move and you're feeling kind of light and you're feeling like you can move some energy around, my personal favorite to start the day with is dancing with music that I just fucking love. Some song that I really love that lights me up, and just dance to it, wiggle to it, shake to it, dance however you want, and move your body through dancing, through playing, through expressing with sound. Ideally, you throw on a song, but if you don't want to do that, that's completely fine. But there's a song you probably really love that activates you and invite you into that space. The third option would be full-on training. If you're like, I'm feeling good, I feel recovered, I feel dialed into my body, I feel energized for the day, we'd invite you to get sweaty, get juicy, get activated. Do those push-ups, do those sit-ups, go to the gym, do something that's gonna light up your body, go on that beach run, whatever it may be, but get your body activated, get your body charged up, and start the day with a sweat. Boom. So those are the 3 paths that I would talk about. And again, it's kind of generalized, but 3 options for you to use when it comes to starting with this practice of flexing.
Love that so much. So we've done the breath, we've tapped into the body's intelligence, we know what's up. With that information, we decide, am I going to be soft? Am I going to be playful? Am I going to get after it?
Yes.
You know, it's that kind of basic approach. And once we then have gotten after it in whatever form that looks like, we move into the feel. And the feel is a meditation. And we love this because so many people struggle with getting into meditative states. If you've done some breath work and done some movement and then drop into meditation, you drop right into meditation. I've had people who have been resistant to meditation for 30, 40, 50 years that followed this method and have dropped into meditation and started loving it more than anything. There's a million ways to meditate. What we recommend, especially at the beginning, is you just set a timer and you sit in silence. You sit with yourself. You feel what you want to feel. So let's take you through an example. I wake up. I do the breath. During the breath, I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling this power. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to go to the gym. I get a great workout in. I move, I sweat. Right away at the end of my workout, I'm just going to sit down in the gym. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to be with the sensations. I'm going to feel the power. I'm going to feel the confidence. I'm going to feel the excitement for the day. And I'm really going to anchor that into my nervous system. Because we've got the saying at Embodied and in all the challenges that we run, you have to feel to make it real. And if you feel this power, you feel this confidence, you feel this excitement for life, and you really anchor that into your being, you're going to live the rest of your day from this. And it's at this point where we like to invite even a little journaling practice, something that's going to help you set an intention for the day so that you can be very clear on exactly who you want to be and what you want to bring forth.
Yeah, and you'll notice at that place, after the breathe, flex, feel practice, whether it's the high intensity version that Cam just mentioned or a softer version, you're gonna be dialed into yourself on a deep level. Cam mentioned the version of if you're just new to this practice, but if you've been using these kind of things for a long time, me to this day, I use these practices all the time, but when I do it and fully show up for it, I still feel like I'm so dialed in. It shows up no matter what path I take during breathe, flex, feel, but I just drop right in. We still use these practices to this day. And then going into the journaling or whatever you want to do next to kind of map out your day, clarity, dialed into intention, dialed into where your body's at, connected into yourself, feeling lit up for the day, feeling aligned. Alive and aligned, baby. That's what we like to say.
We love that.
We do. With that, we want to make this experience non-negotiable. Because we just mentioned these things, if this is new for you to come into this space and you're like, oh, breath, that means I got to go to the gym. It means I got to do this now. That sounds like a lot of commitment. That's a version of it. We mentioned a version where you did breath, you did some stretching at your house, you sit still. That can take 20 minutes. Your practice can just be a little 20-minute practice. It can be less if you want. A version of this that's non-negotiable for you is going to serve you best. Start at a place that's very realistic to implement into your life now. Create that new habit by making it realistic and tangible into your already created schedule. Because we want this to be something that serves you, not something that's like, all right, I'm all in, 3 hours, let's go. And then it's back to what we were talking about. It's fully masculine. Mm-hmm. We want you to create space for this, but make it a non-negotiable, whatever version that looks like. I think that's one of the most important pieces when adding in a routine, whether or not you're taking this whole thing or a piece of it. Make it something that's realistic and non-negotiable and find that edge for you.
I love that. And what I ascribe to for my non-negotiable is the 5-10-5.
Yeah.
I just follow a 5-10-5 rule.
Boom.
5 minutes of breath, 10 minutes of movement, 5 minutes of meditation. You follow that, you're going to feel so fantastic. And for you, it might look like 2-6-2. Whatever that is that you need in order to get into this space, make that rule. Okay, my non-negotiable is a 2-6-2. My non-negotiable is a 4-8-4. My non-negotiable is a 5-10-5. Whatever that looks like, 20 minutes for me is perfect for a short routine. So I go 5-10-5. My ideal situation is about 60 to 90 minutes. That's what I usually do for a morning routine. But if I'm traveling, if you have kids, if there's a very short window of opportunity for you to get it in, it's like 5-10-5. Get it in. Yeah. You can always find 20 minutes.
Exactly. Name that non-negotiable version and what that looks like.
And so we're going to challenge you to name that non-negotiable and do it for 33 days straight. Anchor it in. We've given you the tools here. Once again, breathe in and out through the mouth. No pause at the top, no pause at the bottom. Hold on the exhale. 11 breaths, hold. 11 breaths, hold. 11 breaths, hold. Once that's done, tune into your body. What do you want? If you feel slow, soft, stretch. In yoga. You feel playful, energized, dance, move around. You feel like going to town and getting into it, work out. Do something like that. And then sit in silence. Super simple, super clear. Anybody can do this anywhere. Challenge yourself. 33 days, non-negotiable.
Boom. We'll write all this out below in the description as well, just so you can reference it and look at it, copy and paste it, whatever you want to do with it. But show up for that challenge and let us know if you're showing up for that challenge, because we want to know the people, we want to know the homies that are showing up in this space for the challenge when you're starting out along the journey. Put in the comments, connect with us, share with the community. We want to know. We're challenging you all because we had to challenge ourselves at one point or be challenged by somebody else to get us to where we are now. So we're inviting you. You're invited to get ignited.
And it's time for us to go do our afternoon routines that are going to lead into our evening
That.
rituals. So we got to go. We got another episode coming on afternoon check-ins. Those are going to be awesome. And then evening rituals, that's going to come next. This is a 3-part series. Remember that. Stay lit.
Stay lit. Let's get it.
You.